The recruiter was so rude to a woman until he saw her medals. He couldn't stop apologizing. This story will show you that you should never judge a book by its cover. The older woman who was being judged by her appearance alone had done more for her country than the recruiter would ever do. When women get older, they are usually regarded as less attractive. But this woman in the story is an exception. Despite her age, she looks stunning. Her beauty, however, has made her a target for people with bad intentions. One day, this lady decided to apply for a job at a big company. She had no idea what kind of person she would be dealing with. Little did she know she would meet a man who would make fun of her appearance. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to my channel. I would greatly appreciate it if you could do so. Now, let's get back to the story. The lady applied for a job as a store manager. That same day, she went to the company for an interview. When she got there, she met a young guy who introduced himself as Henry, the recruiter. From the moment he looked at her, he had a strange expression on his face. Henry took the lady's resume and looked at it for a few seconds. After that, he looked up at her and said, "Are you sure you look good in that hideous uniform?" The lady was shocked by his question. She was dressed in her best clothes for the interview. How could he call her outfit hideous? The lady tried to keep her composure and said, "I don't understand your question." Henry leaned back in his chair and said, "You see, the job requires you to wear a uniform. I just want to know if you can pull off such an outfit." He described the uniform. It wasn't something fancy. It was just a white shirt and a black skirt. "Well, I think I can wear the uniform," the lady replied. She had already noticed the gold medals hanging around his neck. They were shiny and looked expensive. Henry suddenly stood up and interrupted her. "I'm sorry, but this outfit is not what I had in mind. You are too old to wear such clothes. Moreover, I don't think you will find any decent men here. All of them prefer girls who look like me." He pointed at one of the female employees who was passing by. She was beautiful, but she was also very young. The lady felt humiliated, but she knew she had to get a job. She had bills to pay and mouths to feed, so she decided to play along. "You are right," she said. "I'm too old to wear this type of uniform. But you don't have to worry because I have something much better." With that, she took off her jacket. When Henry saw what was under her jacket, he was shocked. The lady was wearing a military uniform. It was a beautiful green dress with many medals and insignia. Henry stood up from his seat and saluted her. "Ma'am, I'm so sorry." The lady smiled and said, "There's no need to apologize. Tell me, have you heard of the Women's Army Corps?" "Of course, ma'am," Henry replied. "How could I not have heard of it? You must be one of the senior members." The lady nodded. "That's right. I've dedicated most of my life to serving my country. I have been all over the world. I've seen many conflicts and I've helped many people." She explained that she had retired a few years ago, but she still missed the adrenaline rush that came with her job. That was why she applied for the position at the store. "I am truly sorry for what I said before, ma'am," Henry said, still feeling embarrassed. "I had no idea you were a war hero. Please forgive me." The lady waved her hand dismissively. "It's in the past now. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Can I ask why you wanted to become a recruiter here?" Henry sat down again and explained that he thought the job was easy. "I didn't realize it required me to interview such an important person," he said, feeling ashamed. The lady laughed and told him not to worry. Everyone makes mistakes. What matters is that you learn from them. Now tell me about yourself. She was no longer the old ugly woman he had seen when she first entered the door. To him, she was a role model, a true inspiration. He told her everything about himself, his likes, dislikes, interests, and hobbies. He was so happy he had a chance to talk to such a distinguished guest. He asked her questions about her travels and experiences, but she politely declined to answer any of them. "I'd rather keep those memories to myself," she said with a smile. After the interview, Henry escorted the lady to the exit. As they walked together, he apologized again for his behavior. "I hope you can find a better job, ma'am," he said. "I am truly sorry for what happened today. I hope you will not hold it against me." She placed her hand on his shoulder and said, "Don't worry, son. I know you didn't mean it. You are just a product of your environment. I'm sure you will find the right girl someday." Henry blushed and thanked her for her kind words. When the lady left, he immediately called the CEO and told him to hire her. "No matter what position she wanted," he said, "she deserves the best." The CEO was surprised, but he trusted Henry's judgment. He told him to offer her the position of store manager. The lady was delighted when she heard about the job offer. She accepted it without hesitation. When she started working at the store, she noticed that many people recognized her from her military days. Some of them were grateful for her service, while others were simply curious about her medals. But no one made fun of her or called her ugly. She had finally found a place where she felt respected and valued. Henry often stopped by the store manager's office just to chat with her. They became good friends. He learned a lot from her, especially about how to deal with difficult situations. One day, Henry brought his girlfriend to the store. He was proud to introduce her to his boss. The girlfriend was beautiful, but she was also very arrogant. She looked down at everyone who worked there and made no effort to hide it. "This is my boss, ma'am," Henry said, hoping she would be impressed. "She is the best there is." The girlfriend looked at the store manager and sneered. "I can see that. You have excellent taste, Henry." She turned to the manager and said, "I don't think I've seen you around here before. Are you new?" The store manager smiled and replied, "Yes, I just started working here. But what brings you to the store?" "Oh, I just wanted to see what my boyfriend does for a living," the girlfriend said. "I can't believe he works for someone like you. You are so old and out of touch. I'm surprised he hasn't quit yet." Henry's face turned pale and he opened his mouth to protest, but the store manager raised her hand to stop him. "Henry, honey," she said, "it seems like your girlfriend needs some guidance. Why don't you take her on a tour of the store? Show her what we do here, and let her meet the staff." Henry hesitated, but he knew his girlfriend was right. He needed to show her that he was capable of making good decisions. So he took her on a tour of the store. As they walked through the aisles, the store manager overheard their conversation. "Do you really work here?" the girlfriend asked. "I thought you were kidding when you told me." "Yes, I work here," the store manager replied. "And I love my job. It's challenging and rewarding. I get to help people every day, and I feel good about that." The girlfriend rolled her eyes and said, "You sound like a charity worker. I don't think Henry needs you around anymore. He can handle things on his own." The store manager stopped in her tracks and stared at the girlfriend. "Henry, Is that how you treat people who respect and admire you? You think you can just walk into a store and insult the staff because you are the boss's daughter? Well, let me tell you something. Your father may think he owns this world, but he doesn't. There are people out there who are more powerful than him. People who have seen things he can't even imagine. People who have done things he would never dare to do. She pointed to the medals hanging around her neck. These medals are not just shiny baubles. They represent courage, sacrifice, and honor. Things your father and I both know nothing about. Don't forget that. With that, she turned away and continued walking. The girlfriend was stunned. She had never met someone like the store manager before. She was used to people cowering in fear when she raised her voice, but this woman stood her ground. Henry was also shocked. He had never seen his boss so angry before. He knew she was a tough woman, but he didn't know she could be so intimidating. He apologized to her for his girlfriend's behavior, but she just shook her head. "It's all right, Henry," she said. "I'm sure she didn't mean it. Let's move on." From that day forward, the girlfriend never set foot in the store again. She knew she had met her match in the store manager. Henry was grateful for that. He knew he could always count on his boss to support him. Years passed and the store manager continued to be a positive force in the community. She was respected by everyone who knew her, including the CEO. He often sought her advice on important matters, because he knew she always had the best interest of the company at heart. Henry also rose through the ranks and became one of the most successful recruiters in the country. He never forgot the lessons he learned from the store manager, and he often thought about how lucky he was to have met her. One day, the CEO called Henry into his office and told him that he had a surprise for him. "I want you to take over my position," he said. "I'm retiring and I want you to be my successor." Henry was shocked. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. "Are you sure?" he asked. "I don't know if I'm ready for that." The CEO smiled and said, "You are more than ready. I've been watching you for years, and I know you can do it. Besides, you have the perfect person by your side to help you." The store manager. Henry's eyes widened. He hadn't considered that possibility before, but it made sense. The store manager was intelligent, experienced, and respected by everyone. She would be the ideal partner to help him run the company. He went to the store manager's office and asked her if she would be interested in joining him as co-CEO. She was surprised, but she didn't hesitate to accept his offer. "I'd love to do it," she said. "I think we can make a great team." And that's exactly what they did. Henry and the store manager became co-CEOs of the company. They worked hard to make it the best it could be, and they did it together. They proved that they didn't need each other to succeed, but they chose to do it together anyway.